Check, check. Check, check. Alright. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saminami. We're here for some Overwatch. Tonight, it's going to be Stevenson University versus Rensselaer Polytech Institute, better known as RPI. It's the Mustangs versus the Engineers. And we're going to be starting out here on the Pol. It's actually a map we have not seen in a long time played as by choice. So this, although a bit different, will be an interesting one here. RPI will be on Team Blue, while it's going to be the Mustangs on Team Red. A little backwards on the colors if you ask me, but whatever. Nonetheless, let's take a look here. First roll is going to be coming from Zach here, not going for the high ground, but rather they're going to be looking to get down low, making their way quick to point, but the Mustangs are not going to be quite ready for it themselves and will be late going towards the point here, as we can see. Things will start to push out here, looking at the Mustangs being held on the high ground here, while the Engineers are holding sight. Seems that the Mustangs are going to be going in for their push now here. Looking at Wisner, who has a great angle to start to work with here. The Ryan's lost his shield as Scam is trying to stay alive, gain the assistance from his teammates. But looking at Zach, able to get the beam down there. Triple, quadruple. Can we see the quintuple? And the Engineers start it out strong here. Now we will be seeing that Serial has to make it on back, but that can be a quick recover from the side of the RPI with a teleport or just a run back. As for the Mustangs here, we will be seeing, I believe, a potential change up to the Lucio. No, I'm wrong in that aspect. Nonetheless, the Mustangs are going to be trying to find some give out of the Engineers here, but Neon has to be very careful here, having taken quite a bit of damage. It seems that Scam has been caught out in the open. The Reinhardt playing it very defensively there, but now going to be going for the aggressive. Shatter is available. It could have a choice to use it, but is not going to be pushing out that aggressively there. And unfortunately for the Engineers, they have lost one now, having fallen with Zach as well. Twigsy and Tam have to be forced to back off while stalling the point. Serial Guy does get the kill on the Neon, and is forcing ult out here, which is a bit different. I would not expect the engineers to use an ult here in this fight, but nonetheless the point turns over. Now it's going to be up to RPI here to regroup while the Mustangs hold point. I would say the one to keep an eye out on is going to be the tanks from either side here, from Wisner to Scam. Both sides have a great advantage here if one or the other can get positionally in place. But Zach's going to be setting up the team to go right towards point yet again. But we will be hearing the artillery barrage come on out with the Mayfreeze finding its value as well. And with that, the Mustangs are going to be cleaning up here. So RPI will have to go for another push. Not a bad strategy at all from either side to try to survive things out and go further, but it, unfortunately for them, did not work out the way they wanted it to. Now going to be going for probably another setup to teleport again. However, they best be careful because Rensselaer is going to be looking for it. However, I don't think they were ready for him coming on the high ground. The B comes out, being able to save him. As we are seeing here, it's going to be Stevenson who's actually able to react to it in time and find a cleanup. Another team kill will be coming out against the engineers here, and we're going to be starting to see some swaps with the Sig and the Junkrat selected there, while it's going to be the supports getting themselves on back to site. They are keeping the sim still, so they're going to definitely be going for another teleport. They do just that, making their way onto it. And now you can see here that with being able to take this point and utilizing the window, Stevenson cannot make the push onto the point. So now they are forced to back off, hopefully find some exit picks for their own sake. But the engineers are not going to be giving them that time of day, as we're going to be seeing Zach try to go for an initial kill here. Not afraid whatsoever either, might I add. And I'm not sure why or how, but Rensselaer also seems to be hanging on towards the back of the site quite a bit dangerously up there. That Junkrat makes them lose their position and just barely able to stay alive there, while we're going to be seeing Wisner try to fight it out, get to the overtime on point, but the Mustangs are held against the wall. And this point's going to the engineers. With that, we're now going to be making our way to the temple here. The RPI, having been able to claim the first point, is going to put Stevenson into a bit of a rough spot, as they're going to have the pressure on them to now take this point in order to go towards the third. So I'm wondering if they'll have a... What am I hearing? I think I'm hearing Junkrat's reload every time I press E. That's an odd glitch. So you learn something new every day, whether you like it or not. Let's tune in over here to Serial, who's going to be playing it towards the back side of the point. All the Mustangs are actually going to be starting to make their way, pushing up themselves. Let's tune in over the Cynic here, who's going to be trying to keep the team synergized around him while they make their push. The wall comes out, and it's a great rock as well. We're seeing a try push up there from Wisner, but it gets shut down by Zach and Scam, finding doubles. We'll be seeing that Zach moving on up to get Cynic, but they just miss Neon. Now spying him. They're being forced to back off as Neon has the firepower to hold him on back. But they may get mispositioned here. Thankfully, it's going to be the teammate Rensselaer that is just around the side in order to save him. Some really good plays coming out from either side here. The ones that we'll have to see first is going to be Tam. With this window coming up, they're looking to take down the May. Tire comes out and gets the double kill. Did not see it growing that fast, but understandably so. Rensselaer has fallen despite getting Serial themselves, and Wisner is going for a reset. Stevenson now having been down by 50% here and counting. It's going to have to start utilizing these ults coming on up. Starting with Neon. Has to find that first pick and especially get it out before Zach can find a value themselves. Taking a look at Serial here. I think we're experiencing some lag. Not entirely sure what's happening, so we'll stick things to a third perspective. Oh, this is quite a... I don't know how to commentate the bad... Nonetheless, we'll be seeing that Zach has fallen as well as Tam. Stevenson actually does find their values to start with that one window in use, being able to turn over the point. Now in control, we're going to be seeing RPI get themselves set up here. They have practically every ult in the book to work with, aside from Serial. While Stevenson currently has only 2 available to start. Going to be taking a look at Twigsy here, playing up close and personal with everyone else. The wall comes on out, and now they're going to be making their move on in here. But the gravitational flux does catch him from behind, and despite the damage being dealt, it seems that Stevenson is holding strong. What a surprise play there from the flank, able to get that initial damage and displace the engineers there from making their push on up. So that's going to be hurting them, having utilized so many ults. They're going to really have to rely on this gravitational flux here from Scam. It catches too, and they get rid of the rock as well, but they need to get a confirmed elimination here in order to start to make the fine push. Tires coming on out as well, able to get the double, and they're pushing in with Zach as well. However, Neon is holding strong, able to get that triple in with the assistance of May and Quits. They're going to be finding their last couple of cleanups. The Mustangs hold it very strongly here, but I think Reinhardt's about to come charging on in for that touch. Excuse me. Despite trying, he does get walled off, and about 5 seconds left here. Goes for the push on in. Very hurt indeed. Has to get a bit tricky with it. But the flux coming on out. They're looking for the Lucio. Gets the Lucio. Now looking for the Sim. Gets the Sim. Who's that next? That's going to be the hero and the Reinhardt. And ladies and gents, that's going to be it for point number 2. Seems we're going into map number 3.
Score 1-1.
Round 3, I should say. Trying to think myself between Rocket League, Valorant, and Overwatch. One of them's rounds. Another one's match. Another one's map. Or game, if you will. It's a bit late at night, so you'll hear me pause in between. I'm yawning and been sneezing. It's late. Nonetheless, we'll be starting to make our way onto the point here. It's going to be very close in terms of similar compositions here. However, we do see that the Sim is swapped off for Soldier, and the initial control is taken by RPI over the right side. We will be having to see that someone's going to start making the push, and that's going to be RPI that has the control. Having Rinser down means you don't get to really isolate their targets, and it's forcing the Mustangs back for a regroup here. Going to be seeing that Spite holding this choke here. Neither side's really given in yet to either. So really just awaiting to see who's going to be put out of place here. Rock comes out, able to hit Scam, but not able to get Wisner in the same sense. And Cynic does fall. Seems here that Zach has really been dealing a great amount of damage on the side of the DPS. able to get those secure kills. It has to play it real safe here. Not able to get enough heals to start. The point had been taken by RPI, so the Mustangs are in a bit of trouble here. They need to get themselves on site or point now in order to make a move. If anything, NECC can really hope for is an environmental push here, but it's not really looking to be working out that way. We'll be seeing the control on point here. They miss the rock, and the point does get capped. However, the Mustangs are falling quite a bit. Tire comes out, eliminating Wisner. It's just Neon hanging around, who can deal quite a bit of damage there, I might add. Holding out the fort. They do get knocked down, but the one coming out from there behind is going to be Cynic, who's going to be able to keep this point under control for as long as they can live. Just before it turns, and they get stuck on those corners. Those corners are hard to manage sometimes, I tell you. Rock comes on out, and we are going to be seeing an almost team sabotage from the Mustangs there on themselves. But things are now going to start to get a bit dirty with it, as we're going to be seeing the visor coming on out. Zach able to find that triple. Unfortunately, they missed their footing, we'll say, as Wisner gets booped off the map. About 10 seconds left. The Mustangs need to just get a point touch here. I believe we're about to see it from the Lucio. They're able to get on as needed, but that beat going early means they don't have much else to work with at the moment. That's not really what you're looking for, but you're looking for a boop. That's going to help you. Lucio has been down, so now the Mustangs are trying to find anyone else to hold on. It might just be the Wrecking Ball, but I don't think there's anyone else. It's a team kill, and ladies and gents, map number 1 goes to RPI. No doubt here we've played the game from Wisner. Able to get that 5-man elimination there. Really helping clutch up that round. So with that, we're going to be making our way down to Hybrid for the next following map. I hope every one of you here had a happy Halloween. In fact, I got myself a good number of goodies here. In fact, this one featured from Bethel themselves here as a thank you gift. So thank you, Bethel, for the jersey. I really appreciate you sending it to me. Yeah, a little bit of self-thing for that. We are going to be seeing Nambani is immediately banned. It seems they may not like dive potentially for RPI. Who can say? The brawl seemed to not go in their favor too well, but the poke with Sig was especially effective. I would say DPS played a big factor here in this last match. From the Junkrat to the Sim to the Soldier, you saw a very dominant DPS hold from RPI against Stevenson. Usually, I have seen Stevenson have the opposite effect, where they were the ones pushing against teams. Typically with the May, Bastion, you name it. But that wasn't the case here. In fact, I would describe it as a bit more an unorthodox strategy that we're seeing coming out from RPI. And I love the change. I love the difference that we're seeing in how they're playing their characters, which gives a bit more life to the game, if you will. So we're going to be heading to Midtown now by Stevenson's choice. And as a reminder, this is a best of 5 series, so the first of 3 takes it all. Stevenson needs this next map in order to really just get their footing once again in the series here. I don't believe there's going to be any sort of side swaps. I believe RPI wants to stay on the defense. They seemed pretty good on their holds for the sites when we were playing the King of the Hill controls. So I'm not surprised to see that they stay on the defense. So for the Mustangs, they're going to have to try to figure out what is the key to breaking through the Engineers' defenses. I would say the answer is really up to them. Personally, through my own biased opinion, would be the spearhead through with a Reinhardt charge. Doesn't mean it always works, of course. But nonetheless, both sides are going to be rated on up here, so we're just going to get right on into the map. Always love that beat. It's like the Welcome to New York vibes. I'm curious. Oh, that's right. Skins are disabled. For those of you that are trying to figure out why Asami care about skins, well, currently there's a K-pop event going on with Overwatch right now where the skins that are correlated with it are Kiriko, Brigitte, Sombra, Tracer, and Diva. Not to mention Junkrat as well, who I want to describe as a super fan, but maybe it's supposed to be like a manager? I don't know. No idea. But if you do play the event, you will get the Junkrat skin as well as a cool bunch of other things. So be sure to do that. But if you want the skins, you're going to have to pay in-game currency for it. Or real currency. And by real, I mean actual moolah. Because in order to get Overwatch creds, you either have to be playing non-stop, week after week, and do the dailies, or you gotta buy it. And currently, there is a 50% off deal in the stores for the in-game currency, so might be something you people want to take advantage of if you're a fan of the game. Without further ado, that's enough self-advertising, or Overwatch advertising at that matter. And we're going to be pushing on in. Let's take a look here at Rensselaer, who's going to be trying to see if they can spot out the Junkrat there, Serial Guy. But Serial Guy, set up on this high ground, has a great angle. I mean, let's take a look at where exactly they are pushing their mines there. The trap, not where I would describe as a good setup, but if not spotted, one can easily walk right into it. And that might be seen here from Wisner, but Wisner is pushing up way too fast and hard. They are very injured. They got the immortality there to help save them, but they're going to start getting pushed on out by Scam. Scam going to be making their way on up for the rock. Just misses, but they're still able to secure the kill onto the Lucio. Cynic has fallen, but we almost saw Wisner go down as well. Taking a look from the Junkrat's perspective yet again. Serial Guy's able to hold down the spam, while it's going to be up to Rensselaer to try to find an opening. They do get down Serial Guy thanks to Neon there, as Cynic's going to be swapping over to the Kiriko. Now Stevenson has a foot in the door, and they're going to try to see if they can widen it even more. That's going to be Neon with the second pick, and the window coming out immediately. That Brigitte is one and looking to fall too. Neon's on the hunt. They got him, ladies and gents. That's going to be a triple elimination there. Serial Guy's going to have to be forced to back off, as its only last one alive is Scam on the point. That was, although a little rough, a good average time there for the Mustangs to be able to make that capture. So now it's going to have to come as a rotation out from RPI here. No one is able to go towards close spawn, as they've already left their own spawn. You do see Scam takes a rock to the face, and what I would describe as a questionable nano is going to be utilized here in order to try to hold this first corner. Not a bad strategy for the Engineers here, as they're going to be trying to make their way on up. But we're going to be seeing a double combo coming out here from Rensselaer. Rensselaer is going to have to try to have the assist shutting down Scam, and they do just that, taking out the gravitational flux, and it's going to be a clean team kill there against RPI, while Stevenson's going to make their first push underneath the bridge here. Let's take a look over back onto Zach here. I know we're not giving enough love to the healers as well, so we'll be trying to screenshine them. We're going to try to give them some more screen time here. So we're going to tune it in over to Cynic, but taking a look onto the high ground here. Serial Guy with the tire, going to be looking for an opportune time. They're going, and they find Rensselaer caught out into the open. Now it's going to be the visor from Quits, but it's not enough as Zach went on a brutal bloodlust of a rampage. Able to get that team kill there and hold the point for the Engineers. As for Stevenson, they're going to be making their way on back over here. Going to have to see if they can make something of the Kitsune rush. But I don't believe they're going to find anything quite yet unless they can utilize Neon's window. Neon has been building up quite fast when it comes to that ult and is very consistent, no less. Believe it or not, Neon used to be part of the Valorant team, so they have had their aim down for quite a long time, no less. However, Neon unfortunately does fall there, and that's going to spell a bit of trouble for the Mustangs here. Thankfully, they still have Kiriko and Soldier 76 who are able to keep up some of the heals for the backline. Now, having to be forced back out, Scam has respawned, but can anyone from the Engineers take the contest on the point? It's not looking too good here, as it's going to have to be Scam for the first, and now everyone else rushing on back in. We're going to be taking a look at a flanking side here from Rensselaer, who has an angle, but not going for it quite yet. But little do they know, Tam just needs a little more juice. Nano is ready, and they get it on off before having fallen themselves. Now looking to get a little bit of value here. Scam is going to be trying to get some picks, but unfortunately is zoned out by the Mustangs here, and RPI is forced to run. I'm surprised RPI is not taking the teleport to the old spawn first and is instead, or to the new spawn, instead running to each spot. But as long as they make it in time, it works out for them. As we're going to be seeing here, Wisner has so much space, it makes it hard for anyone to really take enough away from without having to push aggressively themselves, because as we're seeing here, they are being kept up by a personal pocket of Neon, who has been taken out by, I believe, Serial. The Flux comes on out as well. They're looking to hit the rock, but no need to, thanks to the Kiriko. Now going to be looking at the visor here. They shut down the overclock, and now going to be pushing their way on in with Zach having found that cleanup. Twixie here does have the I'm bricking on the ult. Does have Brig ult here. And activates the rally. Now if Kitsune Rush to deal with as well. But there is a visor in effect with Kitsune Rush. And if it's able to get enough shots, and it would find the kills. But unfortunately for them, Brig just is too strong of a tank there. The raid boss having been just semi-activated there really makes it tough for the Mustangs to try to push back. Now coming in with the gravitational flux here, they're able to slam it on down and find the pick on the Tam. Twigsy also looking a bit dire there. Now it's looking like RPI is about to get overwhelmed with Wisner taking the Vanguard. Team kill in place. Now having to push the point. We're going to be seeing here how it's going to be looking for RPI to now try and attempt a recontest. Taking a look here at Serial, but Tam does have the Nano ready in waiting. Having a bit of a drop there. Nano probably going to be coming out onto Scam again, but it's Stevenson that is playing it safe for now. Knowing that they have no ults for themselves, they want to try to see if they can find a pick out against the Engineers here, while RPI is also doing the same. Wisner's looking pretty down and dirty. The Flux comes on out. They're going to try to be playing around this shield, not paying attention to Wisner. They're going to be focusing on that backline. All in return, same to Wisner. It seems the Mustangs are finding more picks. However, despite the Kitsune Rush, Stevenson needs to play it very safe, because that is a nano visor there. Wisner is somehow still alive. I don't know how he does it, but he lived through all of that. That is complete and utter nonsense. 25 seconds remaining, and they get rocked to the face. Now we're looking at a tactical visor here. About 15 seconds left. Quits has to be very safe. Neon goes in for an aggressive play. He's holding out on site here. And they almost find the Sig. In fact, they're ignoring the Sig, who's staying alive on point thanks to both healers being able to pick him on up. The sleep comes out beautifully, so they need to hit that shot. They're not able to. The Flux downtown of Overwatch. Rally's been activated as well, and we're going to be seeing Tam try to push their way on in. Twigsy also having fallen there. Tam is the last hero alive and needs to keep up the team. The Flux comes on out. Wisner needs to get that rock, was not able to. It's now going into overtime. They try to get the touch, but not able to in time, and that's going to be round number 1 over. Now with the side switching here, the Mustangs cannot afford all 3 to be capped here. As we can see, the card only made it roughly this far. They are just meters away from the center of Grand Station. Something about seasonal afterpass. I don't know. It's a little different. It's a little weird to me to actually hear something in pure English in this game anymore, especially like from a map, because I'm so used to hearing anything else, either in French, Russian, Italian, you name it. Well, let's take a look on in here. Not going to be seeing really any swaps out from RPI, while the Mustangs will be placing Neon on Alari, one of the newer healers, mind you. I believe the latest one added, in fact. Has a cute llama keychain. Speaking of keychains, I actually got a keychain recently from China myself. It was of the Valorant Prime skin. Very happy to get that. And the story behind that I can share later on my own personal stream. We're here for some Overwatch. RPI versus Stevenson. It's now underway. Looking to start is going to be Zax here. Has been really standing out along with Serial. Names alone, I was not expecting much from either's, but they've been proven effective here. And my word, Rensselaer able to find that first elimination there. Beautiful headshot against Zach. And Panks are really trying to hold themselves out, but we are seeing that Scam is being pushed back. The hard part about Sig is that Sig is the type of character who has mid-range and explosive damage. So it's really all about poke rather than a brawl, and you need to actually have precise aiming when playing the character. So it can put things into a bit of perspective here by the side. Rensselaer able to find, once again, Zach with the initial headshot there. Serial's going to have to make up for it by finding a pick themselves. But it's not going to be that easy. As we can see here, Scam has fallen, so that's going to be forcing RPI to back off once again. Stevenson here now holding the midsection of point, or the choke I should say. I'm improvising off the cuff here. Has a great holding. In fact, they've outdone RPI so far with how fast they were able to cap. So RPI is going to have less time to work with towards second point if they cap at all. We are seeing that Sig is meeting them on the high ground here. Has the gravitational flux to go with it if they so desire, but RPI is not pushing out from the subway there. And unfortunately for them, the flux does get shut down. And if anything, I would say they were not expecting that Quits would have gotten that double Helix rocket elimination there. If they saw it earlier, that would have been a beautiful save for the Mustangs on their alt economy. Hero unluckily gets one to the face. We'll be seeing, however, Twigsy and Tam have their ults available, Rally and Nano. And looking at Serial and Scam as well, there is a fresh swap over to Cassidy by Zach. So wondering if they're looking to just try to get some picks here from quick shots. Nano Visor coming on out. They're looking to shut down the DPS. They do so cleanly. That's going to be a triple. Looking for the quad. And now for the fifth. Neon playing it very safe. Is going to get eliminated there. Not sure if they're looking to be sneaky to get on the point for the stall, or just say, please kill me, I must reset. Nonetheless, that will be a reset from everyone on the side of the Mustangs here. However, it's going to be Neon with the far spawn from his team. So, Stevenson's going to be down here for a few moments of seconds. We do see that Scam has the Flux available. Gosh, this is making me want to play Overwatch again. Such a fun game to be coming on out here, as we're going to be seeing here the window as well as the visor. But the visor really is just going as a zoning ult, which is forcing back the engineers from really making their push up here. Now going to be seeing the Flux come on out. They're going to have to try to hit that rock just underneath it. Cynic does fall there, being taken out themselves by Serial. However, Wisner taking a nasty nade to the face and going to be shut down by Twigsy. Quits finding the trade, but Stevenson is forced back. The cart has not made too much progress to note, but you are seeing a huge hold and unfortunately even greater elimination against RPI. However, they are still sitting on that cart. Twigsy is holding out on this point, no less. Stevenson, I'm wondering, do they realize the point is moving? They now do. They're able to get their pick on the break, but that was a bit late, if you ask me. On 42nd and Union Street here, we're going to be seeing the Mustangs try to hold this high ground above the subway. Well, it's going to be the Engineers playing in their hometown, no less, trying to take it away from them. Making their way towards the high ground, you will be seeing a separation of healers. Liana just able to make it over, and Twigsy is playing towards the high ground here. The one you want to try to keep your eye on here is going to be Wisner, and if they're quick enough, they cannot take out the break as they want. In fact, it's going to be Stevenson that suffers the first loss there. Now going to be having to receive from the Flux. They are throwing the Flux into the air, but it's not a great one for the Mustangs here, as we're seeing a triple kill and Deadeye in effect. You hear a very happy break, ready to party, ready to get down with it. But it's going to be the Mustangs that are forced to give up this point quite early, might I add. Unlike RPI, they were not able to touch for this defense and are trying to play it much safer on the defensive. Zach is able to find that kill from the doorway there. A big iron on his hip and a dream. He's looking for that prize money coming out from any sort of outlaw. Neon having fallen to Serial. Serial is really a menace to the Stangs, putting them in their place, if you will. But the Mustangs are not going to stay down with just that said. You're going to be trying to look for a pickup here from Rensselaer, assisted by Quits and amplified by Neon with that window there. Rensselaer is going to be hunting for the backline, targeting the supports here. Does get anti first and secured kill from Neon with the main railgun shot from Rensselaer. Twigsy is on a mission. I'm not sure what Twigsy's goal is, but Twigsy is lurking in the back line. Stevenson is not pushing it, and now Twigsy is able to get away. Zach now having swapped themselves over to Ash. That's going to be much better value over Cassidy. Unfortunately, I must say that, just because Cassidy does not have the flashbang like they used to, and that flashbang, oh, how I miss it to a degree. Taking the high ground here. Zach's going to have a huge vantage point. At Dynamite, not really finding anyone per se. And now it's going to be both DPS coming on out here from the Mustangs. It's going to find Zach first, and they're pushing against Quits, but Quits is not afraid. Rensselaer probably should be afraid. Getting pushed on is going to be Serial by Wisner. They could really deal some damage here. Just dodges the rock, and now looking at Serial. Serial's not looking too healthy themselves, but Twigsy is going to try to be playing against Rensselaer here. A bit of a strategy that, not a great one, but one in the same. Anna's getting quite here. Tam does have the nano online. They're just going to immediately activate that combo there, but look at Neon. Neon takes to the skies, and they shut down the visor. That was a huge game turner for RPI here, and having that lost, they're going to have to really count on Zach to get Bob here. Bob needs to get built up extremely fast. This dynamite's going to be crucial. It hits its shot, and they're trying to protect the president style. 98, 99, just needs one shot on a body here, and it's good. Bob's going on in. Look at the Bob go. He's making his way on over there. Bob gets knocked down. They're trying to kill the Bob off here, but do they do it in time? Yes, sir, they do. It's overtime here. The window's been activated as well as the rally here. It's anyone's really push. It's going to have to be finding it against the Mustangs first, having been down both healers here. Now those things pushed in a really bad position. DPS need to find something, but they're not able to. As we're going to be seeing Cliffs to try to make their push up, and that's going to go over to RPI. Now let me take a guess here. Serial with the play of the game? No, Wisner once again. Despite amazing visors, Wisner was really showing their worth here, being able to play on the defensive, actually on the offensive, I should say, and get behind their backline, finding the picks they were looking for there. My word, my word. Oh, that puts the score, as I have it up on a tally. Yeah, off the monitor. Stevenson, none. And RPI, 2 into match point. We're going to be looking at Flashpoint now. It's either New Junk City or Saravasa. And I believe they've taken Saravasa, even though it should be Ban first. That forces Stevenson their hand. Just saying. But maybe the rules are a little different because it's only the 2 to select from as Flashpoint, that they just let the losing side pick the map. So, as said, we're going to be heading on over to Saravasa. I would say the Mustangs need to play it a bit differently here, change up their strategy. Like we saw with the Soldier there. The Soldier was a great pick that we saw out of the Mustangs. That was working for a bit, but the hard part for them is that they needed to shut down that nano visor every single time. And when it came out, they pushed right through the herd. I'm saying, so hopefully this works. We're seeing a bit of chatter in the chat here about uncertainty of whether the map would work on comp settings, just because for some reason the custom map with NECC preset, it's a bit messy, we'll say. And starting here in Ruins where we always spawn, but first going to be making our way to the market. Exit stage right here as we make our way through. Honestly, I love Flashpoint as a mode. I really do. It does get a bit annoying for certain things. What do you mean turn skins off? No! Why do we have to turn skins off? I love skins. Please, give this to me. Don't want to play with them. Oh, Neon, you party pooper. But for the sake... Oh, look, they were playing with skins on. You can't do that to me. Man, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Because we do not see the breaks. We do not see the divas. It's the event. I swear it's the event. It could also just be their strategy and compositions from RPI. But as soon as I saw that diva skin, I knew it. I knew it. Oh, man. You guys make me play worse. What am I going to use? I'm not going to be saying what the chat is speaking. They're just getting into the minute things of how skins work. But by default, unless both sides agree, you should have skins set to as default for the competitive sets. Similar to the Overwatch League, that's what they deal with as well. The only reason why we see the skins is because that is a graphical overlay. Unless they change something up, I believe that is the case. They're real fancy with it, aren't they? Speaking of Overwatch League, we do have the World Cup going on right now. So I did hear USA lost a couple days ago, but did win against Japan. So they're up and down by 1. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for the world stage for them. And if anything, let me just verify the record here. Because it'd be better. Team USA World Cup Overwatch. Let's take a look at what their record currently is. If we're allowed to, that is. Not sure. Groups, finals. Really? You don't have a record tracking right now? Probably would have to look at one of the match record 2023. Not looking like I'm able to see it right away. Maybe find it on Wikipedia? Maybe. But they're probably not updating it too fast. No less. We did have the post-match discussion here. Looking for all sorts of references for us. By the way, I hope you all are enjoying the stream. I know we have less viewers here. We have our typical loyal viewers as well as visitors from RPI. But I'm always curious. Enough of my research. We're going to have to go back into Saravasa. Both sides having been ready. Let's make our way back over to the market, shall we? It'll take us a bit of a walk, especially if we try to take in the surroundings, if you will. We will be seeing a sub out from Cynic to Runic Chaos from the side of the Mustangs here on support. So we'll have to see if that will help them out going into this match here. I believe Runic had a great amount of value playing as the Lucio, while we were seeing a bit of a struggle on the Baptiste from Cynic. But it is usually seen that Neon plays the Baptiste, so Cynic trying to fill in that role while having Neon play over to a more skill-based character such as a Lari, where movements and aim is very required when playing, is understandable. Without further ado, let's get right on into it. Not going to be any real fancy change-up. It's going to be the same as the King of the Hill style, but we are going to be seeing that red team's coming out from the opposite side this time around. A little different, isn't it? Here comes RPI to start. It's going to be Zach who meets them head on. Now, it is worth mentioning that Quits is on the Genji here. We don't get to see too much of the Quits Genji. So, you'll be able to get to see something a bit different from the Mustangs plays. Can't remember the last time we had a Genji player other than when Quits joined. I'll say the only time that they even made Mirror show would have been probably either just before I joined the school, which was over 4 years ago, or prior to that. Scam able to find that first pick onto Rensselaer, now going to be looking for an additional pick. Cynic coming around the side, or Runic I should say, excuse me. Runic coming around the side, being able to displace Scam in order to push them off their game, and the Mustangs are going to be recovering here after taking a nasty nade to the bodies. Seems here that the pressure is on, with already looking up to 50% here. The Mustangs need to start finding a pick. Quits has fallen here, and Sirio is going to be laying down the pressure with the spam. Assisting them is going to be Zach, who keeps everyone in choke here. Wisner has 90 and counting here on the point, and it's going to be Runic, who unfortunately gets picked off. All the Mustangs have their ults coming around online, except for the DPS. While Zach is going to be in the opposite boat with Tam. Tam has been really working their magic on this visor here. 5% left, and the Mustangs are saying, let's not. Unfortunately for the Mustangs, they tried to go for a prediction of where the next point would be, and it did not pan out in their favor. As you see, we're heading to the ruins, where the cameras first spawn into. So that's going to put Stevenson at a bit of a disadvantage when they start to go for their rotate. Both sides will meet on point at the same time. But we are going to be seeing this Nano Visor coming on out into the backline. They're able to find, quits the spike eats that was there. And the ruck off the map. Beautifully executed there by Wisner. Tire comes on out as well, but does no chance and find the value. Team Stevenson's found their mojo and is on the hunt. What a play we saw there from the Mustangs. What was going to be an absolute, I would say, team wipe there with the Nano Visor turned around and Runic gets trapped. They seem to have not paid attention to that. But it was in a good spot for Junkrat to throw a trap, especially for that first prior engagement, because you don't really pay attention to the ground, especially if you're a Lucio like that. Now we're going to be turning this side here. Let's take a look at Twigsy with the rally ready to go and pushing on in with it. They're going to be looking to try to isolate the Sigma here from Stevenson. Now Flux coming on out from themselves, but could get a rock to the face, does not receive it now, and it's now going to be Rensselaer on the overclock, and not a lot of time to use it, unfortunately, as there's just too many walls in the way. But they do find their initial pick. Junkrat having been sicked out themselves, Zach as well, and now the Ana trapped in a corner here. Not really anyone else from the side of RPI to stand. However, the point did turn, so that was 43% loss to Stevenson. Unfortunate, I would say, as they would have already had the ability to cap and move to the next objective otherwise. With the point taken up as is, I don't think RPI has a solid chance of touching this and winning. I believe they are going to stall themselves out here, but Tire's coming on out. It could prove me wrong. It's making its way on over the top end. It finds Neon. Can they get anyone on? No siree, as it's going to be the Mustangs that win the point. Now having completed Ruins, we're heading to the Palace. There's a lot of action going on at the back end, but just like the players, we're all going to be disengaging as we make our way over. This over here is the Palace. Make your way towards the central plaza where you will find the fountain. High ground's often going to be utilized here, as well as the low ground and corners. Choke points are going to play a huge part in control here. Both sides taking it opposite high grounds, which is a first for me to be seen from either side. Scorch, we're not going to take too much mention of that. I say it as I see it, and we're going to be seeing here that both tanks are playing it on point here. But you got to look, tactical visor combo again, and it's an immediate elimination shutdown frenzy. Oh my god, they're already dead. Mercy, I beg you, mercy. That wins them the point. They were able to get just enough all charge from that Ruins fight engagement in order to take the point and get them a great lead to start here. Gotta be taking a look, as right around this corner is the setup. The Mustangs are not aware of it quite yet. In fact, Wisner just pushed past it themselves. Someone should be looking at it. Rensselaer, no! Rensselaer gets caught out. No one paid attention to the trap, and they walked right on into it. That's going to put Stevenson down by one. Runic is in a very difficult spot, and Twigsy might just come running on in here at any moment. But they're holding their rally for now, as they will only use it when the time is needed, and they seem to be winning this fight. Stevenson here again pushed on back. It's now going to be RPI that's holding the point even harder than before. Well, you might see a tire come on out from Zero. They've been building it up quite fast. Going to be coming right around the corner here. Rally activated as well. It's going to find the tank there. It's 3% left, and now going to be looking for the next point. We're heading on over to the temple now. The temple is going to be right next to the ruins, and Rensselaer unfortunately was not able to get around the corner as they needed. But for Stevenson, this could prove advantageous for them, as they will be heading over to the site first. Now this is the map, or the part of the map that I love personally, because you can actually play one on Orthodox tank. and it's none other than Roadhog, as you can bait your opponents out into the open to pull them out into the water. As the Gravitational Flux coming on out, it's going to get shut down just like Serial Guy does by Quits here, and it's RPI that's having to play it very, very, very safe. We're going to be seeing Rensselaer find a beautiful headshot with the window to assist, and they're going to be hunting for the healers as well. Tam going to be trying to keep people up with the assistance of Twigsy, but Twigsy knows when the fight is lost and going to be backing off to fight another day. So now Stevenson has control of this point, and if it goes just like last time, as we're seeing with Pattern, they will win it, putting it at the final point to be the tiebreaker. That's only if the site is held. They can't really afford to have things go awry for the side of the Mustangs, as they are up against a match point map. So if they lose this, they're done for the night. Junkrat getting rocked out in the open. Very audacious style. Spike getting a beautiful sweep. They do shut down the visor before he was able to receive a nano, and Rensselaer is on a roll, a rampage if you will, finding the kills in the backline and then rushing the tank. They are going to stall the tank out and make sure that he does not get a favorable spawn here for RPI, and they are going to be forced onto the last part of the map, which is, ladies and gentlemen, the gardens. They know that, and they're going to be making their run on over. We do see the swap over to the Reinhardt here. I'm wondering if Scam is getting a bit heated. I mean, I would myself if I was getting pushed out like that. But it could also just be this part of the map. It does have a lot of corners to work with, as well as a lot of high to low ground. So if they're able to hold it, they'll have a great time playing with the Brawl, but I don't know, as it's going to really come down to the DPS here from either side to find the value. It's going to be Nano Reinhardt versus a Visor here, and the Visor is just being hidden away from, while Reinhardt lived to tell the tale. Barrier is down, and they don't have a lot of sustainability here. As you can see, RPI is getting just wiped. The engineers are going to be forced to give up on this project to start, but they will be revisiting it in just a mere moment. They're not out of blueprints quite yet, and they're looking for future prospects here, while the Mustangs are going to try to be holding their stalls. I'm going for a lot of puns, but I probably should just drop it. Nonetheless, we're going to be seeing the rotation coming on out here from RPI. Tire's going to be activated and really going to be trying to get it through the high ground there. It's just making its way over the top. They're trying to get rid of that immortality, but they do unfortunately lose the Tire. That gets shut down immediately here, and it was received by a beat drop, which also would have rendered it null. Rensselaer is in a lot of danger there, as well as Runic, and they're being forced to play back here. Now we're going to be seeing the Gravitational Flux get swept out of the sky by Tam. Tam is working their magic here, doing the God's work, if you will. They're able to keep the team up through thick and thin. They gave their life, and it paid off, allowing RPI to take the point. I have no better way to describe it other than God's work there. What a holy sleep. Going for the Hail Mary. A beautiful play there by Tam. But they're going to have to really work up towards Nano or the Shatter here. Shatter's going to have a huge advantage if they can meet it on this high ground here against Wisner, or just get it past the shield. Let's tune in to see if they're going to do that. A beautiful sweep coming on out there against Runic, which is able to help set up for the combo. They should be able to just get this easily cleaned on up here. Neon being forced to go for a run. Oh, excuse me. Had to recover myself a bit. We will be seeing that thanks to that beautiful sweep engagement from Tam here, they are able to get the elimination and set themselves up for an ult fest here. Tire comes on out, finds both heroes. Shower's coming on out as well. They're going for broke here. It's anyone's game. We go into the overtime. Rensselaer coming down to the wire. But ladies and gentlemen, RPI takes the victory. that will be it here from us tonight. And actually, Zero Guy with the play of the game. I mean, you were looking at tires over and over again, along with a beautiful shutdown. I'm surprised they stole it from Zach. This was criminal. But that's what a Junkrat is. In any case, like I said, that wraps it up for us here. We will be going to a personal stream after the closure of this stream. Gonna be debating whether to do Zombie Army Trilogy or just Overwatch. So be sure to stay tuned, and I'll see you all later. Bye.